Immaculate, what is it? Immaculate Deception. Now, this is Growing Up Hip Hop Season 2, Episode 4. And the episode starts off where I guess it needs to start off because we're dealing with Romeo and Angela. Romeo was asking Vanessa about, how did she change or did she change when she had the baby? And Vanessa, at the time, she didn't catch what Romeo was trying to do. Well, she kind of thought it, but she still answered the question of, yeah, things change, priorities do change, but overall you're still the same person, and you still make time for the things you want to make time for. And Romeo's like, yeah, Angela, so are you going to make time for your friends and the things they used to make time for? And Romeo's upset because he feels like you had a baby, you're having a baby, you did it with this guy, you were a virgin, and all these things that everyone else is kind of thinking, but for him it's supposed to be really, it's supposed to really matter, because Romeo, again, had this whole concept in his mind that he was going to be with Angela, or at least Angela was going to remain an option, and I guess they're going to have an official falling out to where that would determine if they were going to be together or do anything together or not. Romeo's just heard that he wasn't involved, included in this. I'm looking at Romeo like, dude, you are grown enough to understand that Angela is a grown woman. She can do whatever she wants. Was it right that she didn't let anyone know? Yeah, because that's her business to do so. Would some people have handled it differently? Absolutely. It is what it is. Boogie's talking about how it's like, does anyone know a good lawyer? And they're like, why? Of course Christina knows why, but he lets everyone else know. It's like, yeah, a DUI lawyer. It's like, what? It's like, yeah, I wasn't drinking, but they pulled me over because they said I was swerving. Boogie's in denial right now. Boogie's definitely in denial. He's acting a plumb fool, in my opinion, because of the fact that, yes, you did do something and drive. That's the reality of it. How much of it, we don't know. What it was, you won't say, which is fine because you're on camera. I'm taking it off as you don't want to implicate yourself because there's probably going to be a court hearing. It is what it is. You're playing around a little bit too much. But Romeo, he pretends to create a little olive branch and say, well, let me go and do the prayer. And he prays for, friends, family, health, understanding, making sure that you don't ostracize the people you love. It's like, and then it's like, of course, for Angela, her pregnancy, for the baby. And then Romeo goes in on, okay, so who's the baby daddy? Who is the baby daddy? Well, he's a good guy. He's someone, I didn't plan on it, and I ended up being with him because there were a lot of guys that, were doing me dirty, and I didn't even think that I was going to fall in love again. And I'm looking at this like, Romeo, that includes you. You guys never formally dated, but you guys probably gave it a try or something multiple times, and this is what happened. Angela didn't want to deal with, the games. Someone showed that they were there for her. She didn't even know this guy's background. She was like, oh, he's the one. And she proposed. She, before she got married, she got pregnant. It is what it is. And because Romeo was like, oh, well, you even know this guy. Romeo was going in for, I'm not going to say no reason, but again, he's acting almost like this was his woman, and his woman went out and had a baby on him, and now he has every right to be mad. Like, stop it. Stop it. Because Christina, it was bad when, Angela had to pretty much talk to Christina, and a little bit to Boogie, but mainly to Christina. It's like, yeah, you understand when this happens, and with relationships and all that. She wasn't even talking to Romeo at that point, even though he was the one asking her all the questions. Boogie is talking to his mom and lets his mom know, oh, okay, so here's what happened in LA. I got a DUI because, I dropped off my manager from a friend's place, took him to the airport. They were saying I swerved. I wasn't drunk, they did the breathalyzer, nothing happened. So she's looking at him like, we're all looking at him like, okay, so why'd you get arrested? He's like, you know, I was in a dark tinted car, driving all black. Of course they're gonna go and try to pin something on me. I'm looking at him like, absolutely possible, but you just said yourself you're in a dark tinted car, so that's why they potentially pulled you over, and it was nighttime, you know, and out there in LA. I don't know what the rules are out there in LA, but I do know people with dark tinted cars do get pulled over a lot. But again, it could have been the fact you may not have been on anything like that to where it really warranted you. Heck, you could have just been tired. You could have been swerving. That's the truth to the matter. But they're trying to paint this picture of, oh, he potentially has a drug problem. His mom's convinced he has a drug problem. He's like, I don't have any issues. She's like, so what did your dad say? Well, my dad basically is just like, you know, don't do it again, dummy, type of mentality. He thinks that he doesn't really think I have a problem, but he does think I make some dumb decisions, and it is what it is. So the mom wants him to come back to New York. She's like, you know, New York's great. There's everything in New York. Yeah, everything, including the fact that he's getting pulled around between his two parents because there's a competition. Oh, do this with me, do that with me. And that's how it's always been. So that's the other real issue. You guys did a terrible job with the whole, even though we're not going to be together, we're going to show solidarity. No. It was like the polar opposite, at least in his eyes. And he's the child in the situation. Christina and Romeo have a sit down. You know, she was playing the song called Crystal Ball. And the song wasn't, it was good. It was definitely good. Definitely something I could hear on the radio. So I'm wondering how come I'm not hearing it on the radio, like what's going on. She's an independent artist, that's why we're not hearing her music except for on the show, and maybe if we go down to California. Romeo, you know, and then Christina decides she's going to be Romeo's therapist, because that's what their friendship really is. She comes to Romeo, and he pretends to care about her money stuff. He shows some interest in her music, gives her some advice music-wise, and then she goes and tries to fix his love life or his personal life, period. And Romeo talks about with Angela and how it felt like a low blow because she just kind of curved me, and I didn't think she was going to be one of those people where as soon as she got a relationship, then she wouldn't be with, she would forget everyone else who's supposed to be a friend to her. That happens all the time. It happens all the time. Is it right? No. But again, Angela really doesn't owe you anything. Did she do everything the right way? And maybe she could have at least been a little bit more transparent to her real friend. Yeah, but this just looks so one-sided, like Romeo. Romeo. Yes, Angela's wrong to a certain degree, but you're also wrong because you're expecting more from someone who you really would have thought that these two were potentially trying to figure things out relationship-wise, even though Romeo pretty much told her, yeah, we're not going to pursue anything because I have a lot of stuff going on career-wise, and I need to focus on me. He also had the girlfriend at the time. So I'm looking at him like, dude, come on now. This is really a joke right now. And then the other part, which I can't understand, is his sister Tata. She is his youngest, I think his youngest sister, has a drug problem. And the family's trying to rally together to do something about it because they don't want to see her dead. Christina has the whole issues with her father. Her father didn't come to her performance. Not only that, her father didn't come to... Oh yeah, did I tell you that Romeo got up and walked out of the little dinner situation because he was just over it? And that's where I was just over how he was acting. It was just... I'm like, really? Really, man? Anyway. Christina talks about the whole, you know, maybe she might have a step sister, or there might be a love child out there, but she says no because she can't get into contact with her father, and it's stressing her out. Master P has Tata, you know, his daughter, Tata, and they went down because I believe it's his uncle or something of that nature who died, and it's just really hard because he he is just afraid for his daughter around with the mom for so much and so long that he doesn't know what's going to happen to her. So he's just like, we need to get this under control. Maybe if we go to a funeral, she can understand. Romeo is trying to say the same thing to her. Then Peppa and Egypt go meet up with Angela. Egypt was trying to meet up with Angela by herself so she could talk about the whole not going to college thing. And I'm like, okay. Peppa comes in and takes over the scene. And she's like, okay, but Angela, really, so tell me everything that happened. Was it Immaculate Conception? Because you were a virgin. So Angela's like, oh, this is annoying, but I guess I'm going to have to answer because, you know, it does look kind of sketchy. Here's what it is. Again, Angela, she got pregnant the first time she had sex, and it wasn't, she, of course, was a virgin that whole time. She finally got with someone who she felt like was the one, and he proposed. They didn't get married. She decided she was going to go and have sex because she felt like it was time, and she got pregnant. It is what it is. And Peppa is just like, Jesus. Peppa was lit, though. I was like, wait, Peppa, did you come here a little lit already? Did you already come here a little lit? Did you? I could tell. Because she was like, you know, I have to go to the bathroom, and now I've been pre-gaming before I left the house. Yeah. That's when Egypt gets to say, yeah, I don't want to go to college this year. I want to take a year off at least and figure things out for myself. Again, what is it? Angela just had this look of, you can go and do both. You can still do college part-time. Thank you. But then Egypt gets this alert from her friend letting her know that her boyfriend put this post on IG and instead of him and this other girl, and he's just like, oh my gosh, I'm done. And Peppa was like, okay, finally, because this guy is disrespectful, he's rude, and because even Angela's like, this dude, something seems sketchy. Now, while Romeo is out at the funeral, his sister is finally starting to break down because it's hitting her. Not only did this person who they love died, she's starting to realize, okay, this is what they mean. They don't want to have to come to her funeral. That's the last thing they want to have to do. Angela has to deal with Uncle Russ because Uncle Russ is like, what the F's going on? Sit down. Are you effing kidding me? He was just cursing left and right. Because he's irritated that, you know, they're supposed to have open communication, and yet he found out that she was pregnant through the internet along with everyone else. That's the only thing that I'm like with Angela. I understand you handle it the way you want to handle it, but the people who really mattered, like certain parts of your family, and some of your friends, not all, but some of your friends looking at you like, really? You couldn't even just do a sit down beforehand to tell us something? Because she's wearing this oversized top, and he sees the ring, so it's like, oh, holy crap, that's a nice ring, what's going on? And she's just like, oh, well, he's a great guy, you know, people are prejudging him, you know, I was a virgin, because he was like, yeah, I wasn't sure, Immaculate Conception, I had no idea what was going on. She said, yeah, he proposed, we had sex first time, got pregnant, that's not how I really wanted it, but I am happy, he treats me right. And it's like, oh, that's great. And it's like, what does he do? Well, he does real estate, and he also has investments. So it's like, oh, okay, ooh, he got money. Okay, good. Thank you, Jesus. But, you know, I didn't even know about his past at the time. I'm thinking, Angela, you really didn't do some vetting? A little bit of vetting before time? She was like, no. He was like, oh, okay, so what's his issues? Well, he did go to jail for some possession. I was like, what? Well, distribution. He sold drugs. I was like, okay, that's cool. I did it too. All right. He's on straight and narrow now. It's like, yeah. And he also, yeah, some domestic disputes. Not, and as far as I know, he didn't actually hit her, but the cops were called because there was something that happened. He was just like oh Lord, we're going to pray for you. We're going to put out the hitters for you just in case if anything happens. We will get this guy, but we love you. It is what it is. This situation's messy, and I know your parents are looking at you a little crazy, but we're going to have this guy over the house. You know, we're going to vet him our damn self since you didn't do that. Boogie invites his girlfriend and tries to convince his girlfriend to move out to California, even though he's not 100% sure if he's going to do it himself. She's like, you've been kind of going off the rails, with, especially now with this DOI. You have some type of issue, some type of problem, and you're just in denial right now. And I don't know if I can do that because I've been supportive, I've been holding you down. We'll see. Egypt goes and talks to her boyfriend. I'm like, oh my gosh, is Egypt is she trying to promote herself as an actress or something? Because this scene, I wasn't getting it. And I'm like, wait a minute. So you invite the boyfriend, he comes over to the house, the cameras are there. So, of course, he's not necessarily thinking they're going to get into an argument, but they get into a full-blown argument. She's like, who's this girl? It's like, that's my cousin. It's like, this BS. And it's like, wait a minute, you always start to raise your voice and talk crazy to me. And that's when Peppa comes downstairs because he was like, well, you're not going to do that. You're not going to break up with me. She was like, excuse me, little boy? Excuse me? Who? Excuse me? We don't play those games over here. We do not play those games over here. You're going to lower your voice, and this is how it's going to go. And the conversation leaves off with, you know, them kicking him out, and it's just like, oh, see, I'm so glad. She's like, I wasted so much time and I'm so upset. But it's like, we're going to go and get a shovel. We're going to bury that relationship in the background. We're going to move forward. Do you agree? Yeah. All right, then let's go and do it. I'm looking at this like, this is some Young and the Restless type of mess. Young and the Restless type of mess. Nia and TJ go to this gym and like to do some like CrossFit stuff. And the guy that she's working with is hitting on her, and there really wasn't much there. I guess it was just to add in an extra scene with Nia and TJ, since TJ decided that he was going to tour this season, and no cameras are going to follow, because I'm sure that probably would have been really expensive. But yeah, that's my thing about growing up hip-hop. Some of these scenes and how they get certain notifications, you know, at the right exact time. Anyway, Angela, she goes with her mom baby shopping. And again, even with her mom, she's just kind of, her mom's super excited, so her mom's not trying to dive too deep into everything, but her mom's just like, it is what it is, let the haters hate. Okay, so what's the sex of the baby? Angela's having a boy, which we know in real life, but Angela's just like, it's so annoying, people trying to pry and get information. Well, you put yourself out there and then people want to know, and I'm saying people like myself, you don't owe us anything. I think that, you know, at least going forward, you see how people felt when you kind of gave them the cold shoulder regarding what was going on with this baby. If you have another one or anything else big, make sure you tell the people who really matter in your life, because I think that's why they were really hurt about it. Nia is with her friend Andrew, and Andrew, while she's trying to talk to Andrew, she conveniently gets a call about her dad and knows she has to go. And I'm saying, of course this all could have happened. Of course, beforehand, she could have been like, okay, if you hear anything or whatever, or you have any concrete stuff, I'm just going to go and do a scene with Andrew, and then, you know, just give me a call or whatever, I'll pick up. And she goes, leaves, storms out because of the whole, it's like, where's her dad? And for her, it really could mean anything, the fact that her dad has dropped off the grid. Romeo and Master P are kind of talking to Tata, and she's like, oh, I don't need rehab anymore. They're looking at her like, are you kidding me? You just said you wanted help or rehab. We want to help you so that we can also help your mother. You both have drug issues, at least we know you do, and you're not denying it. And so that's, I guess, the whole narrative with, what's her name, Sonia, is that she has some drug issues and she just listens to lawyers and instead of her family. Master P's like, I don't care what you want to hang out with these Hollywood kids and they've been getting you into trouble and they really don't have your back. When something happens, they're not going to be there. We are. So we're going to go and decide how we're going to help you. You're not going to go and decide for yourself. And Nia goes to urgent care, and that's where her father is. Why? We don't know. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think.